You've been taught to ask the universe politely, to wish, to hope. But here's the truth: no one told you the universe doesn't respond to timid whispers. It responds to unshakable demands. When you demand something from the universe, you're not being rude. You're speaking in the language of certainty. You're declaring, "This is mine, it already exists, and I am aligned to receive it." Think of electricity. It doesn't judge whether your light switch is worthy of power. You flip the switch, you get the light. That's how universal law works. The moment you flip the inner switch of belief, the $100K you desire is already moving toward you. But here's the thing: demanding is not begging. It's not "I hope it comes" energy. It's stepping into a new identity that says, "I am the kind of person who receives $100K naturally and consistently." When you align your words, your thoughts, and your actions with this truth, you'll start to notice strange coincidences. Opportunities appearing, people showing up, doors opening. That's not luck. That's your demand being met. Most people approach the universe like they're knocking on the door of a stranger's house, timid, unsure, and hoping someone kind will answer. But here's the reality: the universe is your house. You were born into it. You are not an outsider asking for favors. You are the rightful owner, claiming what is already yours. When you understand this, your language changes. You stop saying, "I wish I could have $100K, and start declaring, "I demand $100K now, because it already exists and it already belongs to me." That shift in tone changes the entire energetic equation. Authority is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's the vibration you emit when you speak as though the outcome is inevitable. Imagine a king or queen sitting on their throne. They don't beg for their servants to bring water. They simply state, "Bring the water." The command is given with complete confidence that it will be fulfilled. This is how you must speak to the universe, with clarity, finality, and no trace of hesitation. When your words carry that weight, they set unseen forces into motion immediately. The problem with speaking in hope is that it leaks uncertainty into your frequency. Hope is beautiful when you're planting seeds, but when it comes to manifestation, hope can sometimes mean you're not sure if the thing will arrive. Authority erases that doubt. Instead of hoping for $100K, you are claiming it, knowing that the path to it is already being arranged. Your mind stops obsessing over if and starts focusing on how, and the how always finds you when you're anchored in certainty. Speaking with authority also forces you to own your desires unapologetically. Some people feel guilty for asking for large sums of money, as if wanting abundance is selfish. But when you speak with authority, you bypass those limiting beliefs and instead step into the truth. Money is simply energy, and you have every right to direct that energy toward you. You are not taking from anyone, you are tapping into an infinite supply. The $100K you demand already exists in circulation. It's simply moving toward you because you've called it with confidence. Your tone, your posture, and even the way you breathe shift when you speak with authority. Try saying, "I hope I can have $100K this year," and notice how your shoulders slump, your voice softens, and your energy feels uncertain. Now say, "I demand $100K now," and feel the difference. Your voice deepens, your chest opens, and your presence expands. This physical shift amplifies the signal you're sending out. The universe doesn't just hear your words, it feels your vibration, and your vibration becomes a command. Finally, speaking with authority sets a new energetic standard in your life. The moment you claim something without wavering, you're telling the universe, "This is the level I operate at now." And from that moment on, everything that enters your experience must match that standard. Opportunities, ideas, people, and resources begin to align with your declaration because you've stopped requesting like a guest and started commanding like the owner. You cannot demand $100K and still live, think, and behave like someone who has never held it before. The universe responds to identity first, money second. Your outer results are simply a mirror of your inner self-image. If your subconscious identity is still that of someone struggling, waiting, or settling for less, the $100K will not stick even if it appears temporarily. The way to secure it is to become the kind of person who naturally receives and keeps that level of abundance. This transformation starts within. Think about it. If you gave $100K to someone who believes deep down they're not worthy of it, they will either spend it recklessly, lose it through poor decisions, or find a way to push it away. Why? Because their subconscious identity is still set to less than. To receive $100K, you have to upgrade your default settings. You need to shift from thinking like a survivor to thinking like a wealthy creator. That means changing the way you view money, the way you speak about it, and the way you see yourself in relation to it. Matching the identity of a $100K receiver is not about material flaunting, it's about energetic calibration. Ask yourself, how does someone with $100K carry themselves? How do they make decisions? How do they treat themselves? Then begin embodying those qualities now, before the money arrives. If a $100K earner invests in their skills, invests in their appearance, and makes bold moves, you do the same in your current capacity. This is how you signal to the universe, I'm already here. I'm already that person. Your environment also plays a huge role in this identity shift. If you surround yourself with chaos, clutter, or people who think small, your identity will be anchored to limitation. Upgrade your surroundings to match the energy you want to live in. That could mean organizing your workspace like a CEO, dressing with intention even if you're at home, or curating your circle to include people who inspire you to level up. The external environment reinforces the internal identity you're building. Daily rituals can cement this transformation. Visualization is powerful, but embodiment is even stronger. Spend time each morning walking, speaking, and thinking as your $100K self. Ask yourself, if I already had the money, how would I move today? What decisions would I make without fear? The more you practice being that person now, the faster the physical reality will catch up. You're not faking it, you're activating it. Finally, matching the identity of a $100K receiver requires eliminating contradictions. You cannot declare wealth while speaking lack. You cannot visualize abundance while complaining about bills. You cannot dress like you have money while thinking this is just for show. Your thoughts, words, actions, and energy must be aligned. When every part of you is broadcasting the same frequency, the $100K doesn't just appear, it stays, multiplies, and becomes your new normal. You can't call in $100K if your emotional bank account is overdrawn. Emotional debt is the weight of past hurts, regrets, and fears that silently drains your ability to receive. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much abundance you pour in, it slips away through the cracks of unresolved emotion. Before you can fully receive, you must patch those leaks. This is not about being perfectly healed before you manifest. It's about releasing the emotional baggage that keeps telling you you're not worthy or ready. One of the most common forms of emotional debt is guilt. Guilt for wanting more, guilt for surpassing family or friends, guilt for past mistakes with money. This guilt acts like an invisible hand pushing abundance away from you. If deep down you believe money will make you bad or disconnected from loved ones, you'll unconsciously sabotage your success. The antidote is forgiveness, forgiving yourself for every financial misstep, forgiving others for what they've done, and forgiving life for the times it felt unfair. That release frees your energy to flow toward what you desire. Another heavy weight is resentment. Resentment toward those who have it easy or who never had to struggle creates an energetic wall between you and wealth. The universe cannot deliver $100 100K to someone who resents people who already have it because resentment is a declaration that having wealth is wrong or undeserved. To clear this debt, practice seeing wealth in others as proof that it's possible for you too. Celebrate their success as if it's a signpost for your own. Fear is the most silent but most powerful form of emotional debt. Fear of losing money, fear of being judged for having it, fear that more money will mean more problems. These fears keep you in the comfort zone of just enough, because your subconscious believes that safety is in limitation. But abundance is safest when it's in the hands of someone with good intentions, and that someone is you. By reframing money as a tool for greater impact and freedom, you replace fear with purpose. Clearing emotional debt also means detaching from the past stories that you've been rehearsing for years. If you keep repeating, "I've always struggled with money," or "it's hard for me to get ahead," you're making withdrawals from your emotional account every time you speak. Begin rewriting your story now, even if your current reality hasn't caught up yet. Speak as though you're already financially free, and your emotional balance will shift toward abundance. When your emotional bank account is full, you become magnetic to money. Opportunities feel lighter, decisions feel clearer, and you stop overthinking every move. You're no longer carrying the weight of old wounds into new situations. The absence of emotional debt creates an energetic vacuum, and the universe rushes to fill it with what matches your new, lighter frequency. In that space, $100K is not just possible, it feels inevitable. A demand without action is like sending a letter to the universe without a return address. It has nowhere to land. Words alone carry energy, but when those words are backed by decisive movement, they become unstoppable. Action is the physical proof that you believe what you're declaring. It's how you demonstrate to yourself, your subconscious, and the universe that you're not just wishing, you're preparing to receive. When you demand $100K, you must ask yourself, what would someone who knows this is coming do right now? That might mean making an investment in your skills, expanding your business, or saying yes to opportunities you would have once avoided out of fear. Each step you take becomes a signal to the universe that you are ready for the next one. Momentum builds when your actions align with your declarations. Taking aligned action also creates a bridge between the invisible and the visible. Manifestation begins in the unseen realm in thought, belief, and energy, but it must eventually take form in the physical world. That form often appears through the doors you choose to open. If you want $100K, you must start walking through the doors that wealth walks through. Networking in higher circles, applying for bigger contracts, selling at a higher value, or positioning yourself for more impactful opportunities. One of the most overlooked aspects of action is speed. The longer you wait to act after making a demand, the more your certainty can erode. The universe rewards immediacy. When you get an inspired idea, act on it while the energy is fresh, even if it's a small step. Signing up for a program, making a call, sending a proposal, or simply reorganizing your finances can all be signals that you are preparing to receive. Fast action collapses the gap between intention and manifestation. It's also important to remember that not all action will feel comfortable at first. Anchoring your demand with action often requires you to step into unfamiliar territory. You may have to say yes to something that scares you or commit to something you've never done before. This discomfort is a sign you're stretching into the version of yourself that can hold $100K. Playing safe will only keep you in the same loop. Bold moves are what shift you into new financial territory. Finally, consistent action reinforces the vibration of your demand. It's easy to take one step and then retreat, but the universe responds to persistence. Just as water carves stone over time, your repeated actions carve a clear channel for money to flow. Every choice you make, no matter how small, either anchors your demand or weakens it. By choosing action again and again, you build an unshakable signal that says, I'm ready, I'm certain, I've already made space for it. Most people lose their manifestations not because they asked for the wrong thing, but because they couldn't hold the energy long enough for it to materialize. Imagine planting a seed and digging it up every 2 days to see if it's growing. That's exactly what happens when you doubt, worry, or change your mind after making a demand. Holding the vibration means staying in the frequency of certainty, even when there's no visible evidence yet. It's about keeping your inner thermostat set to $100K, regardless of what your current bank balance says. The vibration you hold is the signal the universe follows. If you demand $100K with full belief today, but slip into fear tomorrow, you're sending mixed messages. The universe doesn't punish you, it simply responds to the strongest, most consistent frequency you emit. Your job is to keep that $100K vibration dominant so it becomes the normal setting of your life. Think of it like tuning a radio station. If you keep twisting the dial, the signal cuts out. Find the station of abundance and leave it there. This is where discipline in your thoughts becomes essential. When doubt creeps in, you must consciously replace it with certainty. This is not pretending or forcing fake positivity, it's choosing to return to the truth you've already declared. That might mean affirming out loud, visualizing the result, or immersing yourself in environments that remind you of your goal. Each time you choose the vibration of certainty over fear, you strengthen the energetic bridge between where you are and where your demand lies. Holding the vibration also requires emotional stability. The manifestation process will test you. Delays, unexpected expenses, or distractions may appear. These are not signs that your demand isn't coming. They're opportunities to prove you can hold your frequency under pressure. The more unshakable you become during these moments, the faster your reality catches up. Money loves stability. It flows where the container can hold it without spilling. One of the most powerful ways to maintain the vibration is to live as if your demand has already been met. This doesn't mean reckless spending or pretending your circumstances are different. It means making choices, speaking words, and feeling emotions that align with your end result. If $100K is already in your possession, how would you carry yourself? What would you focus on? How would you treat your time, your energy, and your opportunities? Acting from that place now locks in the vibration so tightly that reality has no choice but to match it. Finally, holding the vibration is about trust, deep, unwavering trust that what you've demanded is already on its way. The exact timing, method, or route is not your concern. Your role is to keep the energy alive and undisturbed, like a flame protected from the wind. This trust transforms waiting into expectancy. You're not hoping it will come, you're knowing it will, and that knowing pulls it towards you like a magnet. When you combine all 5 of these principles, speaking with authority, matching the identity of a $100K receiver, removing emotional debt, anchoring your demand with action, and holding vibration until it lands, you become unstoppable. The universe has no choice but to respond to your certainty, your alignment, and your persistence. Remember, you're not chasing the $100K, you're calling it home. You're not hoping it shows up, you're commanding it to arrive. And because you're aligned in thought, emotion, and action, it will find its way to you in ways you couldn't have planned, faster than you can imagine. The truth is, the $100K already exists. It's out there, circulating, waiting for the right energetic match. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you are that match and refuse to drop the frequency, you step into a reality where receiving it is inevitable. So today is the day you stop asking politely, you stop hoping it happens, you stop treating your desires as distant dreams. From this moment forward, you speak it, you embody it, You clear the blocks, you take the steps, and you hold the frequency until it lands in your hands. The $100K is yours. Claim it, own it, live it. The universe is listening, and now it's delivering.